Okay, so you were asking me what's going on in my life,
Yes.
right?
You told me things are going well.
Things are going really well. Yeah, life is good right now. I feel this is the best I've probably felt in my entire life.
There you go.
And that's not like an exaggeration. And it all revolves around this little book right here. Oh, sorry to disappoint you, brother.
It's okay. You do it all the time.
Yeah, well, wow. That one hurt a little bit, not gonna lie.
You back to writing in your truck handy dandy?
Bro, okay. Are you familiar with the concept of mindfulness?
Am I familiar with any concept?
Okay. All right. What does the term mindfulness mean to you?
It means your mind is full.
Okay. All right.
Ness.
All right. Wow. Whoa. All right. So, all right. We're going to do an exercise right now.
Oh, God.
We're going to do an exercise, and once we do the exercise, you will know what mindfulness is.
Should I be sober for this?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, if anything.
Check.
If anything, the fact that we're both a little buzzed, the contrast will be even sharper.
Let's go.
Okay, all right. So first, and for those of you watching, feel free to follow along. By the end of this exercise, only going to take maybe a minute or two. You will also have an understanding of what mindfulness is.
Did you plan this?
I thought about it a little bit.
Okay.
I made notes. All right, ready?
Yeah.
So, all right, take a deep breath in.
Fuck, I'm scared.
Okay, ready? Through your nose, just a deep breath. That's all you gotta do, guys. Take a deep breath out. All right, one more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, so this next one, we're gonna take one more deep breath, but I want you to try and follow the air as it goes through your nose, into your lungs. Hold it. Just feel the air. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, ready. Okay. So the next thing I want you to do, we're sitting. So I want you to feel your weight of your body pressing into the couch. If you're standing, feel the weight of your body pressing into the ground through your feet. If you're lying down, same concept, pressing into the bed or couch or on the floor through your back or stomach or side, however you're lying down.
Right now?
Yeah, just feel the weight of your body pressing into the couch through your butt, through the back on the back of the couch. Just feel that. Just pay attention to it. Just notice it.
Okay.
All right. Notice you blinking. All right. Okay. All right. So this state of mind that you're now in, this is what mindfulness is.
Okay.
It's a high degree of self-awareness. It's almost as if you're living life in the third person. You're watching yourself live life.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, so this is what mindfulness is. I have been trying to maintain this all day for the past 3 days.
Just feel like this.
Just being aware. This is what practicing mindfulness is. And in doing so, I have been
Productive.
Happy is the wrong word. Definitely productive, and we're going to get into that.
Elevated.
I have been at such a state of mental and emotional equilibrium, like just stability.
That's strong.
Yeah, that like life is good, and also like we're in this room right now. I'm here in this room. So much of my life I've lived in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as I practice mindfulness, I'm here. And I made some notes,
Talk your shit.
Yeah.
I feel like this yoga, nigga. I'm being comfortable.
Yeah, right? It's nice.
Yeah.
And
I wish you stopped talking.
But okay, now, so what happened, right? How did this happen? Because mindfulness, enlightenment, consciousness, these are all concepts that I've been familiar with for years. I've read several books on Buddhism, on meditation, So I've been aware of them, and I know they're beneficial, but I don't think I've ever practiced it to the extent that I've done in the last 3 days. And what sparked it was I've always been drawn to journaling. Like ever since a young age, I've always been drawn to documenting just my thoughts.
Yeah.
I never quite knew where it came from, but I've always had just felt in the same way I'm drawn to working out. You know, there's just something internally that tells you should work out. It's good for you.
Yeah.
I get the same feeling about journaling. And 3 days ago, I was just in a really bad mood. And I've always been aware that whenever I journal, if I'm in a bad mood, I feel better. But this time I said, yo, I started this journal when is the first day in this?
You do, now that I think about it, you go on and off of using this thing.
Yeah, the first date in this is October 30th, 2019. December 30th, 2019. So right before the new year started. And I'm like, why is this shit still not full? You know, even if I was only writing in this a page or two a day, I should have been filled this up.
I'm with you.
So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna write 5 pages, 6 pages right now. This is a complete stream of consciousness. That's what I write. I basically write whatever I'm thinking down, you know? Could go anywhere, and it goes everywhere. And in doing so, I tapped into a level of mindfulness that I don't think I'd ever been in. You know, it's almost like I'm meditating through writing, you know, because what is meditation is all it is just being present. So whether you do that by sitting still and watching your breath or by observing your thoughts, I feel like I'm observing my thoughts and just putting them on paper. So I'm really just meditating, and it takes about, to write the first day I believe I wrote, the first day I wrote, I believe 11 pages.
God damn.
Yeah, so I wrote 11 pages, and I think I wrote 9 of them at once. And so it probably took me about 30-45 minutes. So I essentially meditated for 45 minutes straight. I don't think I've ever meditated for that long.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm with you now.
And so in doing that, I tapped into a level of mindfulness. And, I just started having these introspections and revelations. And I just decided that I was going to keep it up for the next few days. And in doing so, a lot of truths I feel have been revealed to me. And I wanted to talk about some of them.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Don't go too much now.
Yeah. No. All right. So the first thing
you out.
Which was
upside down.
Boom.
There you go.
Which was gracious.
We had some mic problems. So.
Yeah. I feel like I talked loud enough that hopefully that audio wasn't fucked up.
Strong black man, you are.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Go ahead.
But yeah, it probably does sound a lot better now, though. Thank you for that.
I got you.
But okay, the verse. Ooh, that's a vodka. That's a vodka. Whoa.
Hey, the thing is, no, let me go. You've been clear, perfect.
Yeah.
I've been following you.
Yeah.
And then that one sentence. Brought you back down to earth.
I almost want to stop and watch that right now. I saw myself doing. You know what that was like? That's like watching yourself trip and try to catch yourself and not catch yourself.
The thing is, I was fucking with you, and then you stop yourself.
Okay, can I continue?
Yeah. What's the
action?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So. One of the first things that was revealed to me, that's what I was trying to say, believe me or not.
We got you.
Believe it or not, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
One of the first things that was revealed to me once I started doing this exercise in mindfulness was how asleep I was prior to it.
You woke now?
I mean, definitely I'm much more awake than I was before. I realized that maybe even for the past few months, as like unfortunate as that is to admit, for the past few months, I have been living in some sort of zombie-like state.
Are you about to come at me with the third eye shit right now?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. No, in the sense of I was just on autopilot. You know what I mean? I wasn't practicing mindfulness. I didn't do any intentional thinking.
Yeah.
For the past few months, you know, of course you think on a daily basis to solve problems as they approach you, but to actually sit down and think intentionally, that's something that I wasn't doing previously.
Talk your shit.
And in journaling, right? I don't ever think intentionally just sitting down. I like to write when I'm trying to just like ponder. And bro, in the last 3 days, I've written just over, now taking it to this page, probably around 40 pages.
God damn.
Yeah, in the last 3 days. In the previous month to that, I had written 6 pages. Right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking, I wasn't being, aware, I wasn't practicing mindfulness, I was in this zombie-like state. And looking back to the last month, bro, I realized so many bad things happened last month as a result of that. In the sense of just, whether it was like moments of like feeling bad emotionally,
yeah,
or decisions that I made. So, okay, all right. Here's what practicing mindfulness does, right? And
check the time.
Yeah.
Always straight.
Yeah. All right. And so this is what I've discovered in practicing mindfulness. This is how I like to think of it, right? So you have the self. The self is that entity that notices what's going on. It's self-aware, okay, right? The like self is
like your conscious or something?
No, the self is that point of awareness that that the thing that noticed you breathing. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The self is just your ability to perceive the world around you, but also perceive yourself.
All right.
That's what I like to call it. These may not be perfect definitions. This is just me describing my experience.
Yeah, man, this your shit.
Right. This isn't something I got of a book or me trying to rattle off a definition I heard.
But it'll be in a book.
Maybe. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But okay, so
you're
how I like to
definitely writing mad books before you die.
All right, that would be
We both
dope.
know that.
Yeah. Okay.
We both know that.
That would be cool.
You never thought about writing a book?
No, I have.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. You know you're writing a book.
But I feel like if I can keep this up for the rest of the year, by the end of the year, I will write a book.
You know you're writing a book.
Yeah. No,
before you die.
Yeah. Oh, definitely before I die.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to keep you off track though.
No. So, in practicing mindfulness, right? I like to think of it like this. You have your higher self and your lower self, right? The less mindful you are, the less you're just aware of your existence and the thoughts you're having and just what you're doing and where you are, the more you sink into your lower self. The more mindful you become and the more you practice mindfulness, the more you elevate into your higher self. Now, even though I call it the higher and lower self, it's not like one is good or one is bad.
All right. I needed that.
Okay. It's not like one is good or one is bad. It's just is what it is.
Okay.
The lower self, likes instant gratification. It likes, it operates out of a place of fear and ego. The higher self is detached from the ego and operates out of a place of love.
Okay, so you need both.
You do need both. You can't. It's not about needing both. They are there.
Gotcha.
You can't. Just like how I guess technically, like you could lose an arm, but you're born with. If you're healthy, you're born with 2 arms. They're just there. Use them as you wish.
Okay.
Right. It's the same thing with the ego or with the selves. It's you have your lower self, you have your higher self, and you can tap into both.
Yeah.
Right. So. Okay. All right. So here's what I believe, right? And this is based off of me reflecting, right?
Talk your shit.
The lower self, in order to seat yourself more in the lower self, you just have to do things that move in the opposite direction of mindfulness, right? So like I said, instant gratification. The only way to ascend to the higher self is to be mindful. That is the only way to climb up to, if you was a sliding scale, 1 to 10, 1 being the lower self and 10 being the higher self, the only way to approach 10 is to practice mindfulness through whatever means that may be. Okay. I choose to do journaling. It's very effective for me, but maybe you just, like to just ponder, just self-reflect. That also moves you towards that.
Okay.
And yeah, bro, it's been very transformative.
I was gonna say, what has been the benefits of this new age thought?
Okay, so everything, like I said, the lower self loves instant gratification.
Okay.
The higher self loves doing things that take longer, in the sense of like the higher self loves working out.
Okay.
The higher self loves journaling. It loves meditation. The higher self loves building meaningful relationships.
Would you call that the grind, like the groundwork?
What do you mean?
Like, so groundwork is like, I know this won't benefit me this Friday.
Yeah.
But in 6 months.
Yeah. And it's not even that the higher self is looking forward to the payoff. Mm-hmm. It enjoys doing activities that are usually associated with delayed gratification.
Okay,
yeah. So working out. The lower self likes drinking alcohol, right? It likes eating fast food.
That quick little.
Yes. The lower self likes doing those things.
Can't wait for this book.
And it all has inertia, it all has momentum. So the perfect example, right? And this is what I mean when I say it's not good or bad. It's just whatever you give energy to, that's the direction you'll go in.
Yeah.
So if you practice mindfulness, you'll just automatically go towards a higher self. This is where, and what I have discovered in doing this is that, and I think it needs to be said that I have had moments in my life where I have practiced meditation for periods of time. I have done DMT. So it's not like I'm starting from zero in terms of being a mindful person.
Yeah,
it wasn't like 3 days ago I was this like someone who had always been completely seated in the lower self, and all of a sudden now
you're definitely levels deep in that book.
Yeah. So something that I've discovered, I feel like the issue that a lot of us have is we are oftentimes seated in our lower self, but then ask ourselves to do a higher self activity.
I'm with you. Okay, talk your shit.
And that's where the pushback, that's where the resistance comes from. Yeah. You see, on paper, you need to go exercise. On paper, you want to have a lot of money one day, so you need to go work on whatever your business is, et cetera, et cetera. But you've just been doing a lot of lower self activities. So you're comfortably seated in your lower self, but maybe it's a whisper from the higher self saying, hey, don't forget about me. We need to go work out, all of that. And so for a moment, you're like, shit, and you try to turn 180 and go work out, and it takes a lot out of you. Or turn 180 and say, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do 2 hours of studying or building my business, and it feels hard, and you have to put on a podcast or listen to music just to get through it.
But you gotta build up to that.
It's because you've been seated in your lower self. And the same is true.
This book gonna be fire.
And the same is true for the opposite. Have you ever had a day where you just been killing it? You've been super productive. Nobody could ever convince you, hey, stop what you're doing. Let's go lie in bed, eat cake and ice cream all day and watch Netflix and jerk off. You'd be like, nah, nigga, I'm killing it right now. I'm in the zone.
I hear you.
It's because you're seated in your higher self. You don't want to do any lower self activities. And this is why I'm saying it's important to recognize that I'm not saying one is good or one is bad. It's like taking a very driven person and asking them to waste a day, or taking someone who is, overweight, out of shape, and telling them go run a marathon. They don't want to.
It's definitely yin and yang.
Yeah. They don't want to. You know what I mean? And it's good to, I feel like it's normal, it's good, it's human nature to engage both the lower and higher self. I think you're better off being on the side of higher self, but in the same way, like, again, I took a shot with you before we did this, I'm not saying I'll never eat fast food again.
You will, tonight.
Probably tonight.
Jack in the
but
Box.
The important thing is to be aware that this thing exists, that this is how life operates. And I feel like just by being aware of that, you stop beating up on yourself. You're like, damn, I really want to be more productive, but why is it so hard for me to just sit down and focus? It's not you. You're just in the wrong frame of mind. And that can only be achieved through practicing mindfulness. You want to go do a higher self activity like work uninterrupted for 2-3 hours, you need to elevate yourself. And the beautiful thing about this isn't like working out in the sense of like, you can't, no matter how much you focus, if you don't work out, you can't just go bench 300 pounds.
Yeah.
But you can go from, like, let's call it a 2, in the sense of you can go from being comfortably seated in your lower self to engage in your higher self in a matter of 30 minutes.
I think that's important that you say that, because people go from being a fuck up to saying, I'm gonna draw the line here, and from here on out, I'm gonna be this amazing student, worker, or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't build themselves up. And now some people can do it. Some people can put the fucking drink down and just be a strong person. But some people need to go from 2 hours straight to 4 hours straight to 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
Then to 8.
Yeah.
You can't go from just 2 to 8.
Yeah, and that's coming from that. What happens is, so like working 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, those are higher self activities. Being productive and focused, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you practice mindfulness today, right? For a good portion of your day, and you start to engage your higher self. So you find, oh wow, I was able to work for 2 hours focused. I didn't need music or a podcast in the background. I could just do this thing, right? That is momentum that carries over into the next day. And you might not have much experience with this, because I feel like this is something a lot of people aren't even aware of. But you definitely have experience with this. We all have experience with this in the lower self, in the sense of how one lazy day can easily turn into a lazy week, a lazy month. The same thing is true on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Word.
You know what I mean? And again,
hey man, talk your shit.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Like, all of this, I didn't read a book or watch a podcast.
But you wrote one.
It may be in my mind. Well, I'm writing one technically.
There we go.
It's just not structured.
My man.
But I'm saying, like, everything I'm saying has come from the last 3 days of self-reflection. It's come from about 40 pages of just writing, just stream of consciousness from mind to page. I mean, even the way I'm speaking right now, I feel like I'm speaking very clearly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also drunk, but I think so.
Yeah, and I'm also drunk. And I'm still speaking, I think, rather eloquently.
The higher mind. This
is the higher self, bro. And, I have some more stuff here, but we're already rubbing up on 23 minutes in. Should I go for broke? Should I talk a little bit more?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Okay. The last thing I'll say, I have a lot more here.
Go and talk your shit.
I have a lot here.
We'll put the fucking Patreon.
But and this is for anybody who wants to, I believe, the only way you can achieve a lot in life, in the sense of materialistic success, getting the perfect body or the body you want, these are all higher self aspirations. This isn't like working out. I will say this. This is, in my opinion, the point of life. This is the one and only challenge in life, is to practice mindfulness, to sit in the higher self, to just be conscious and self-aware, that is the only fight you have every day. That wanting to do whatever it is you want to do, to, you know, those, damn, why did I eat that fucking, like, because, okay, drinking, I consciously took that shot. You can consciously choose to eat fast food, and then there is feeling like you don't have any control. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the fight, that's the thing, that's where a lot of bad feelings come from. It's, you know, the only true fight every day is that, the mindfulness, being mindful, engaging the higher self. Everything else is auxiliary. I feel like we have a lot of people who are aware of meditation and things, such as myself, have it backwards. We look at meditation like taking your vitamins. It's just a thing that you should practice every now and then, preferably on a daily basis, that is gonna make your life somewhat better. But everything else, you know, going to work, getting your work done.
That's immediate.
That's the what life's about. But meditation is just one of those things to help you. No, that's backwards.
Yeah.
Because if you practice, if you live your day where priority number one is being mindful, all that other, you're going to naturally be productive. You're going to naturally focus more. You're going to naturally want to work out. You're going to naturally be drawn to positive people and want to build meaningful relationships.
Can I say something?
Okay.
I think there is a reason, right? And this is coming from somebody who's your roommate for 2 years, that you are successful in a YouTube space. And I'll say that because living with you, I knew that you were gonna be successful in whatever you chose. But that's something a lot of people I don't wanna say they can't figure out, but when you work as hard as somebody, it's undeniable. And I just felt like I should say that.
Well, I really appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Just so happens you got dyed dreads and a fucking dad hat on, you know?
Yeah.
But you could also have been in an office with a suit on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You know, and
I think it's important for them to see that as well as they hear you talk about this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But thank you, man.
Never again.
But yeah, guys.
Fuck
so you know, and again, this is not dogma.
What is that?
In the sense of like, this isn't just something I'm saying for you to accept as truth. This isn't something that whether or not you agree with me or believe what I'm saying matters.
Dogma?
Dogma. Yeah.
That sounds like a term by the right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Last thing I'll say. Yeah. I want to end this whole thing on this.
Okay.
Whether or not you agree with what I'm saying or believe me, I don't care, and it doesn't matter. Because no, it's not that energy. In the sense of like, if you want to know if what I'm saying is bullshit or not, just do it. Hold yourself to this. Yeah. You know what? We're gonna pick this up. I'm only gonna talk about it for maybe 5 more minutes in the next section, but I want to end on this because it's important.
Drunk.
Nice. All right. So, damn, you're right. I should have checked where we left off.
Yeah. Who knows? Mindfulness. That's the name of the podcast.
Yeah. All right. No. So I believe where I left off before the break was that. Okay, I remember talking about the fact that practicing mindfulness is the thing. That is, you wake up every day, priority number 1 should be practicing mindfulness, right?
Okay.
Now, I'm not 100% sure where I was gonna go with that, but I know where I wanna go with it now. And it's that, the truth of the matter is, even though I don't think you should assign the label good or bad to the higher or lower self, the truth of the matter is most of us want to achieve things that are naturally higher self activities. Most of us want to have a great body. Most of us want to have a lot of money.
But that's hard, young Don.
It is hard. But you know who doesn't think it's hard?
The successful people.
The highest version of yourself.
Yep.
In fact, that kind of shit excites your higher self.
Facts.
You know, that's the kind of shit, your higher self loves a good fucking workout, you know?
Can I say that some people aren't supposed to be bosses?
Some people aren't supposed to be bosses.
Can I say that though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that everybody has the capacity to be a boss. Everyone who is mentally sound and fit.
It's tough, man.
But no, in the same way how I think I could be a gamer. I think it's within the realm of possibility that if I spent hours every day playing a video game.
I don't think everybody has your ethic though, work ethic.
Okay, but
I think that's the important key.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not even about the work ethic, though.
I think it is, though.
Because I have days where I feel like I have a shitty work ethic. Those are the days I'm seated in my lower self, and that's the point I'm making. Some people, I think what it is...
I set you up for this one.
You know what I think it is?
What do you think it is?
Some of us naturally, let's say the scale goes from 0 to 10, some of us, without practicing mindfulness, or being very aware of this, naturally sit closer to the middle or to the higher, like maybe a 6. Some of us naturally sit closer to a 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Maybe not a 1. I feel like a 1 is, you're almost an animal at that point. You're just you're fucking jerking off, eating garbage, watching TV. Like, your entire existence is instant gratification and just, living for, the cheapest thrill of the moment.
Okay.
I feel like that makes up that probably makes up less than 1% of the population.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think there are a lot of 2s and 3s out there.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say, guys like us just naturally live around the middle. You feel me? Like, without any mindfulness, maybe I would say I probably live around, just without even thinking about it, a 5 or 6. Because like I said, I
disagree, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Well, where would you say I am?
I think that's what I think the distinguish is. I think I don't know what it is. I'm not a fucking doctor, scientist, whatever. I think there's something in certain people, or something happens when they are young that puts them at 9 or 10.
Here's the thing. I'm definitely not at a 10.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
but
I'm definitely not at a 10.
I think that's only because you compare yourself to natural 10s. But I
don't think there is such a thing as a natural 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Because remember, the measuring stick isn't your work ethic or how productive you are. That's not the measuring stick.
What is the measuring stick?
The measuring stick is how mindful you are, how just self-aware you are. Because tell me this, you have guys out there who have a high degree of work ethic, right?
Yeah.
Terrible relationship with their family. Super short temper. Maybe uses drugs.
Okay.
Maybe he's an alcoholic. Can't put down the bottle.
Living life right.
Right? Yeah, well, some people would agree with that, right? A lot of people,
I'm joking. Put the bottle down.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. So that isn't the measuring stick.
I'm with you.
The measuring stick is the degree of mindfulness that you just live in.
Is that measurable, though?
I mean, not in any purely scientific or objective way.
Definitely
it's just more of a sense.
Okay.
You really, your perception of, let's say you did this, the breathing exercise with us earlier, and you maybe that's the most mindful you've ever been consciously. I feel like at times we have just moments, maybe you go to a beach or you just see a really beautiful sunset.
Okay.
And you're just in that moment.
Yeah.
I feel like all of us knows what it really feels like to be in the moment flash-wise, but we don't, because it's not taught in school and based on your culture. This isn't a concept you're aware of, so you don't know to practice it or that it's something that can be practiced, right? So
I'm with you.
Maybe that exercise with us, that was the most mindful you've ever been consciously, ever or in a while. For all intensive purposes, that might as well be 10 for you. Right? So that's why I say, okay, there might not be a scientific way, because right now I feel like I'm very mindful, I'm very present in the moment.
It's relative.
But maybe I practice this for another month or another year. Maybe I go and do an acid trip or a 5-MeO DMT trip, and I have a serious breakthrough. And now at this moment, consider to be a 9. I like to call it a 9 because you always know there's room for improvement. So I will say, let's say I'm at a 9 right now. Maybe a year from now, I'm like, damn, that was really 5. You know what I mean?
That's the goal, though.
Yeah, definitely.
The goal is to keep improving.
Right. So as I was saying before, most of us, the things we aspire for, the things we really want, those achievements are higher self achievements, right? So here's why I say the real task is to practice mindfulness every day and as often as possible. It's like sharpening an axe. You want to cut down a tree, you're much better served sharpening that axe for a couple of hours or however long it takes to really get that axe sharp before you go to chop down that tree. And then what you do, you don't allow the axe to get to a place where it's super dull before you sharpen it again. You know, once you realize that your efforts are you're not yielding enough results for the amount of effort you're putting in compared to when you just started trying to chop down the tree, post-sharpen it the first time, then you sharpen it again, you know? But you can't constantly be sharpening it. You have to chop the tree at some point. So what I believe, here's what my recommendation is what you should try, and this is what I've been doing. You know, write, and I like writing. I feel like it's a great way to practice mindfulness.
Everybody has their own.
Yeah, you'll discover some other method that works better for you.
Yeah.
But if you have nothing, at least I know this works.
Right. If you have nothing, you need to find what thing is. Drawing, writing.
Right, exactly.
Whatever.
Maybe it's drawing, maybe it's going for a walk.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody will find something you'll gravitate to something. Like they say, there are 100 paths to the top of the mountain. All that matters is that you get to the top of the mountain.
Word.
Right? So here's something I'm suggesting to you because this is what works for me and I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So boom. Oh wow.
Mike dying?
It's getting there, but we will be able to wrap this up.
Nah.
I mean, I'm getting the alerts. Let me see what your percentage is at. You are at...
That's the man.
You're at 13%.
Trying to stop us from mindfulness.
You have 13%. But okay. All right, let me try and wrap this up real quick.
It's only like the third one, though, so we might not.
Yeah. Should we take a break and come back? Yeah. All right, let's do that.
Record 20.
All right,
We'll see you guys again.
Okay, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back, and I'm finally gonna be able to finish talking about this thing. So, like I was saying, mindfulness, that is priority number 1. It's not the other way around. Meditation isn't this thing. And meditation, when you hear people talk about meditation, you might as well replace that word with the term mindfulness. It is not this ancillary thing that you do every so often.
In what?
Ancillary.
Do I need to start reading?
Reading would be good. That's a good thing to do every now and then. That's something you don't have to do constantly. That's something you get a lot out of just doing,
Not a reader. What does ancillary mean?
Ancillary, it's kind of like extra. It's like not the main thing, but like... so sometimes like
Why'd you just say that?
Because I like hearing.
I don't like when people say complicated words when they can just say easy words.
Here's the actual definition.
It's with an A?
Yeah. Ancillary. Providing necessary support to the primary activities or operation of an organization, institution, or system. So
what happens when I go to the hood and say ancillary?
You get shot.
This nigga changed.
We robbing this nigga. Give me run them Jordans, nigga. Run them Jordans. Them Jordans is ancillary to your lifestyle.
This nigga thrill ain't the same. This nigga done went to San Diego and changed.
This nigga came back. He changed up. You switched up on this nigga.
Hey, brother, you need to take out the ancillary stuff in your life, brother.
Ancillary things are good. Like it says, providing necessary support to the primary, but key thing, it's not the primary. You get me? So meditation or mindfulness isn't ancillary, it is the point. Especially if you want to achieve higher self goals. Okay, so here's what you do. You start the day off and you prime the day. Okay, so if you're gonna meditate for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If you're gonna do journaling, I think journaling is the best way to do it personally, but I'm biased. That's the way that I like doing it.
Find your thing first, which is important.
But if you don't have a thing, I recommend you try journaling. Just because I know it works. And I can give you a number. Page 3. You get to the 3rd page, you're going to be in a mindful state. But I think go overdrive. Try to hit page 5.
Don't tell them do too much now.
No, do too much. It's not too much. This is it. If you do nothing else for the entire day but be mindful,
you won the day?
You won the day, in my opinion. Now, you're not going to, but let me put it like this. There are very few activities that you can do all day and then you will have gained so much. If you spend the whole day meditating, you're going to gain a lot from that. You feel me?
All right.
So it's not too much. Get to page 5, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Make your to-do list, figure out what you need to do, start knocking out things. Every time, and here's a great way, here's a great way to know when it's time to practice some more mindfulness.
Nigga not even burping loud no more.
Here's a great way to know when it's time to practice some more mindfulness. Whenever the lower self starts calling, you'll hear it. Yo.
What it sound like?
Order some fast food.
Check your Instagram.
Check Instagram. Yo. Hop back on Tinder. Yo.
Xbox calling you.
Go watch some porn. Yo, and again, nothing's wrong with playing some Xbox, watching TV.
Beating off.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
All right.
Here's all I want to say.
We're waiting.
I'm not gonna say these are bad things. I'm just gonna say these are lower self activities and they will drag you back down into the lower self.
Yeah.
As long as you're aware of that, then you're fine, okay? I think some are more toxic than others.
Yes.
And again, this depends on where you're trying to go in life. If you're just trying to exist life and experience life in all its capacities, then do everything. You know what I mean? Like, do some lower, don't feel bad about it. But for any overachievers out there, for anyone who wants to get to certain heights in life, the truth is you're going to need to be in your higher self most of the time.
Hey, you've been in your bag.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I am. That's what I want to do and how I want to exist. So I do have to stay away from lower self activities as much as possible. Try and stay in that higher self. Because again, it has momentum. If I stay in my higher self bag long enough, working for 4 hours straight isn't going to be that taxing.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off to everything. So, yeah. So whenever you hear the lower self calling, go and practice some mindfulness. I find you need a 1-page minimum to re-still the mind, to re-center yourself and get back into a state of mindfulness. But the more the merrier. If you do another 2 or 3, it's gonna be good. And what I think is cool if you go the journaling route is that come a few months, you're gonna have like 6 of these just stacked up with your own thoughts. And if you're this person practicing being in your higher self, you're gonna achieve some shit. And eventually someone's gonna wanna write a movie or a book about you. And here's what you do. They're like, we wanna write a book about you. Oh, what were you thinking when you started that company? I don't even have to tell you. Well, this is January. Here's January 2020. Here's February 2020. This is exactly what I was thinking when I started that company.
The notebook to all Apple and Spotify listeners.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm holding a notebook.
I said that.
Catch.
I said that.
That's what yeah.
Thank you.
Make sure you check out the YouTube channel, guys. If you're only listening on Spotify, I imagine it might not be that many, but I do imagine we might have a couple of people who might have found us on these podcast apps.
What does top 30 mean? You feel me? In America?
They do say that there are thousands of podcasts. So to be top 30, somebody found us who didn't know who either of us was before this.
Don't even know what we look like. Definitely didn't know who you were. Probably knew who I was.
Probably knew who you were, for sure. But So check out the YouTube channel if you're only listening on Spotify or Apple or
and
wherever.
you'll get the other 30% of comedy, I would say.
Yeah, definitely watching this This is a visual podcast, even though we don't put up clips. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, we're entertaining on camera, bro.
We put on clips.
Every now and then.
Nah, we back.
No, I'm not talking about a clip channel. I'm talking about like, oh, check out this video. Like us reacting to videos. No. I see you. Make sure you subscribe to the clip channel. That's what the thrill was referring to a while ago.
As when this dropped, we're literally all caught up on clips.
Really?
So, nigga,
wow.
I've been on my shit. I just ain't publishing
that's dope.
yet.
Hey, that's dope, bro.
Nigga.
I'm glad you're on that shit
I'm on that
because
shit.
Yeah, that's important.
When this episode drops on Monday, all the clips from the previous 15 episodes will be up. And if you would like a clip to be made, let me fucking know.
So that's all I wanted to say about the mindfulness stuff.